Hello everybody and welcome to Attunement Tarot. My name is Robin and we will be doing a pick-a-pile reading this evening, okay, for the next 3 months. We will be looking into your current energy and then the energy for October, November, and December, okay? So I will introduce the piles and you can make your selection as we go along. So pile number 1, we have the Greer Tarot with this chrysocolla sphere. Okay. Pile number 2, we have Barbara Moore's Tarot Made Easy, or Tarot Your Way. Has like 2 titles. And we have I think it's the Dreamscape Amethyst, and it's a flower amethyst. Okay, pretty. Okay, and then we have pile number 3, the Raven's Dream Tarot by M.J. Cullinane, and this is a petrified wood sphere. Kind of looks like the face of a sloth, doesn't it? It's kind of like a little mask. And then if you turn it that way, could be a sloth that way too. It's pretty. So yeah, petrified wood can help you get in touch, you know, and do ancestor work and meditate on that. Chrysocolla is very grounding, and it can open up the heart chakra. It's got a green color to it, you know. And amethyst is the crown chakra. Opens you up for psychic visions and intuition. So pile number 1, pile number 2, pile number 3. I will see you at your reading. Hello, pile number 1. If you chose the Greer Tarot and the chrysocolla sphere, this is your reading. Okay, so we'll go ahead and move this over there. And when I introduce the piles, I let everybody know that this is a 3-month energy check-in. So we'll be looking at your energies at this time, and we will also be looking in October, November, December, okay? Now I pre-shuffled the decks before this reading because I do typically spend a whole heck of a lot of time shuffling. So I wanted to kind of close that, you know, like tighten that up a bit. So I'll go ahead and invite Spirit in at this time with so much gratitude and respectfully request a message for pile number 1 for their greatest and highest good for the next 3 months. Please and thank you, Spirit. And the sirens are agreeing with us this evening. That is how it goes when you live next to a highway. Okay, well, let's make sure these are all in frame here. Bottom of the deck energy, King of Swords. Okay, so there could be some things that you are considering cutting out at this time, but we'll get into it in just a second. Okay, sirens, thank you. All right. All right. Okay. All right. Pile number 1. Your current energy is the moon. Okay. So you could be feeling quite secretive, quite protective. Hang on. You could be feeling quite secretive and protective at this time. You could also be feeling quite wary. You know, there could be a dim path before you, and you could be kind of, maybe you're not trusting the path, or you're a little bit, apprehensive, for lack of a better word, but I think apprehensive is a good word to describe having a path laid before you and treading lightly. I get treading lightly energy and being quite slow. It's kind of like going down a path and like tiptoeing down the path so you can peek around the corner to make sure you know what's there and to anticipate what's coming. That's the vibe, okay? And, we have the domesticated dog and the wild, wolf. And there could be that aspect. You could be maybe struggling with that a little bit at this time, taming those base desires, but also thinking about your life in a domestic sense and loyalty and trying to balance those things out. And in the effort of balancing those things out, not all is completely clear to you. So this is definitely an invitation from Spirit to take your time, but to also, this is a time of self-reflection. This is also a time of, perhaps you would want to keep a dream journal or something to that effect. Really paying attention to your dreams at this time would be very beneficial for you. Really thinking about the messages that can be found there in the unconscious. So there could also be something unconscious at work for you, and not at work like where you go to work, but something at work underneath the surface inside of you. Okay? And I'm saying all this because we see in the month of October, we see, apprehension or indecision and willful blindness. Okay? This card is really interesting because despite this figure having the blindfold over their eyes, they're of two minds. There's ambivalence here. Okay? And like I was saying earlier with, taking your time and tiptoeing and peeking around the corner so you can, navigate your path better, or, navigate whatever is on that path that you meet there. There is a sense that, so there's an inner knowing, always with ambivalence. There's an inner knowing of what one's own personal truth is, but the ambivalence comes at, I feel like a should I, shouldn't I, rather than just saying to oneself and getting to the conclusion with oneself, how do I feel about this right now? What do I think about this right now? What is best for me? Does a decision even need to be made? I mean, here it would appear that there does, but there is ambivalence about it in the month of October, okay? Which would make sense that in November you're not seeing much yield to your investment. If we are going to try to manifest something in our life and we're not too sure on where we're going or what we're headed towards, we feel ambivalent about it anyway, it makes perfect sense that the investment is not going to yield any kind of real fruitful or tangible results. Okay? That's being very unclear and about what it is that you want. you can't really set your intention and invest in when, there could be some kind of yield, right? But then it's like, how would you even know that that's what you wanted? You might be, tending to this potato plant and expecting tomatoes. And then you get a potato and you're like, oh, and did I get a potato? Like, oh, I didn't even realize I was, it's like that where you gotta be clear on what it is that you want in order to invest properly. Okay. Down here in December we have justice. So, coming to a point, I feel like by December, where you are getting more in balance with yourself and with your truth. All right. The oh my gosh, it must be late. I'm just like, I don't know if I'm completely on for this reading, you guys, but with the justice very much mirrors the high priestess. Okay. But whereas the high priestess is so much water and intuition and secrets and also inner knowing and psychic energy, on the unconscious, all those things. Justice is so much more tangible. It's so much more intellectual. It is very, it's very succinct. It's very practical. Okay. It's very practical. So you may find in the month of December that, because we see so much blue here, there's so much blue and there's so much, it just feels very watery. And so, in the next couple months, pile number 1, you very well could be wrestling with your emotions and your mind, right? So your intellect and your emotions could be at odds. I think that speaks to the domesticated dog and the wolf here as well, wolf being more impulse and feeling and drive and passion and instinct, where, the loyal dog is like, I'm going to be living this way, and I'm going to love it. And it's like when we have a domesticated dog, it's like they're just kind of so present and in the moment and in joy and in love, no matter where they are or what they're doing, as long as they're with their person, Okay, so let's go ahead and clarify the month of October. Underneath the King of Swords, we had the 3 of Cups. So, who knows? Maybe there is some social issues at play. Could be connecting with a lot of people in a very light-hearted way, keeping things not all that deep. Okay. Which is interesting because the moon and the water here, there's so much depth to it, but it's very much unconscious. So far we have Pisces energy and Libra energy. And then more air, Libra, Gemini, Aquarius, and then Earth, Capricorn. Virgo and Taurus. However, no, this would be any and all of the air signs because it's a court card. This would be Gemini, and this would be Capricorn. No, Virgo, sorry. Spirit, can you tell me more about the month of October and the Two of Swords? Three of Wands, Queen of Pentacles, and the Eight of Cups. So yeah, you could be dealing with an earth sign, or you could even have strong earth in your chart here with the Queen of Pentacles. But the ambivalence here we see is about whether or not to walk away. Either you being in the hot seat for the decision of walking away, or this person walking away. I mean, this is very much waiting for the other shoe to drop energy here. And in the midst of it, either you or your person, it's like there is a lot of nurturing energy here. And I feel like there's a maturity. I feel like there's a maturity difference. I get the sense that, or then this, if this is you, both energies, right? Because it's not like we're always mature, we're always immature. When we're feeling vulnerable and indecisive, that's when we are at our most, our young, it kind of touches on a very young place. And so I get the sense that in the month of October, if you are the one at ambivalence or at odds about walking away from a person or a situation, you're being invited to reflect on how this is connected to your self-care. Is there something about this departure energy that is required for your health and wellness when it comes to your time and your energy and your ability to be present and your ability to feel solid and grounded and whole, And with the Three of Wands, I think it makes sense here with the Two of Swords because, this is not a fun energy, right? But so you could be waiting on a particular circumstance or the causes and conditions to be just right in order to make this move. And I think with the Queen of Pentacles being at the center here, it's basically saying if you're going to do this, you need to take your, put your big girl pants on and do the thing. Whatever it is, this very well could be walking away from a job, right? Because we have the Queen of Pentacles. Perhaps this is you walking away from a job that's stable, but kind of at a dead end here, and you may want to venture out on your own business, right? That's definitely Queen of Pentacles energy. And that would be a leveling up, right? From this Two of Swords. That would be making a decision. That would be moving forward. So I don't know what it is that you would be walking away from or what you would be walking towards, but we see in the month of November that there is an investment. There's a walking away and then there's an investment, right? So the Seven of Pentacles, you're continuing to, till the soil and tend the plant and prune it and all the things. There's so much focus, right, into this new endeavor. Very practical endeavor here, okay? And despite that, and I do want to say that with such a big move, okay, because this feels big. This feels like there's a heaviness to it, okay? And there was fear around this. There is fear around it. There's apprehension, all the things. A lot of times when we make a really big move like that, once we depart and give and make space, the optimism can go up because then we're pretty jazzed about what we're doing next, correct? And sometimes the next move may not be right away. And that's something with the Pentacle energy to consider and to remember, is that it takes patience and time. it's earth energy. It takes patience and time here, okay? So this is also an invitation to go back to the drawing board. If you're investing and you're doing the work and everything that you know to be the right thing when it comes to this endeavor in November, this is an invitation to go back to the drawing board and be like, oh, okay, well, you know, maybe instead of watering every day, you know, the weather's getting colder, I'll, you know, maybe water once a week and put a little bag around the plant. I don't know, you know, it's like there's a tweaking of the plan in relation to the context that you find yourself in, okay? Oops. The 8 of Wands wanted to pop out, which is all about communication and planning and things picking up speed, okay? So there's that, which is what we were just talking about. Spirit, can you tell me more about the month of November and the 7 of Pentacles, the Hierophant, the 2 of Pentacles, and the 4 of Pentacles? So this is really interesting energy. The word that I wanted to say in the beginning was profound, but there is a holding on here. There's a strong attachment to the way in which you're investing in a particular thing. So there's a struggle, I feel like, in going back to the drawing board, because this is strongly connected to your spirituality. This is also strongly connected to this is how it's done. With the Hierophant, this is by the book energy. It is by the book. You know, whatever book that is for you. Could be a, you know, a VCR programming manual. Some of you may not even know what a VCR is, but or it could be a spiritual text. But be that as it may, your energy around this is holding on quite tightly to the investment and how you've been doing it, because of how of like a moral or an ethical connection. There's a strong moral and ethical tie here. And perhaps in the month of November, when it comes to this investment, you may find that some of these ethics or mores or steps in the process, the way you've always known to do it, could be, you know, maybe a little bit at odds with something else. So I like the juggling imagery here because it feels like an integration. It's like, yes, I've done it. I've always done it the way I've always done it. But now I'm learning something new because of the results that I've gotten through this. And I'm not abandoning my way, but I could be incorporating a new way, because this is the invitation to tweak the plan a touch, right? So there's going to be a little bit of a struggle, I feel like, this is a very internal process as well. This is very internal. And I feel like in the month of November, you end up bumping up against the challenge of the kind of a little bit of the ego when it comes to being right. Well, my way has always worked, and now it's not working as well, and so am I going to have to kind of tweak it up a little bit and incorporate something else here, right? So it's interesting because it's like there's this shadow energy very strong here with the King of Swords. It's like I feel like this is kind of like my mind's made up, you know? And but the feels may be operating on a deeper unconscious level. And so then there's struggle in October with the decision having to do with the departure. November, after the departure, there's the investment, and then a little bit of an internal struggle when it comes to your ethics and just the way you've always done it, like we've described, right? In a way, it's quite cool because it feels like so much of a natural process, you know? I mean, I would imagine that at one time or another, all of us could completely relate to this, you know? It's kind of like with this in November, you're confronting your rigidities where you have been rigid in certain ways, and maybe there's a softening, you know, there's a little bit of a softening, and you go from the 4, which is holding on super tight, to kind of downshift to the 2. You know, let a couple of those pentacles drop here. So yeah, okay, I like it. All right, let's look at December. This feels very much like a practical, tangible world type story, internal, dealing with the external on a very practical level. Okay. Okay, Spirit, can you tell me more about December, the month of December, and the justice energy? Okay. Interesting, because now we have all these cups that show up in the month of December. It's almost as if this story has taken a left at Albuquerque. And that's not me grunting at your reading, that's me rubbing my eyes. So here, pile number 1. So pile number 1 in the month of December, and this makes sense because I think a lot of folks can become quite reflective around that time of the year. It's the end of the year, things are dying off, you know, then there's these holidays and all the things where there's gatherings and family, and so that you could be reminded in December of a loss. There could even be, you know, maybe some tinge of regret, maybe not, but, you know, it is a grief card here. And connected to the justice, it makes me think of like a legal, like, because in the justice it can also be a very practical energy when it's like, okay, you could be involved in a court case, like, you know, very much like the obvious at face value here. And so with the cups energy, there could be a divorce. Doesn't have to be, but very well could be. Then there's 7 of Cups and 9 of Cups, which I like I like the Nine of Cups at the end here because we have Justice and then we have the Nine of Cups. So there's grieving and then there's also choices. Amidst the choices, things can get cloudy and confusing. We could be spoiled for choice for when they're, for, you know, and there we don't know what to choose, right? So then with the 9, it's like you're choosing your own happiness and coming to decide or coming to discover that your happiness is up to you, and all these cups belong to you, and you have them here on display in an effort to share your bounty. This is kind of like it's a very much semi wish fulfillment, but definitely a lot lighter than that. This, with the 9 coming after the 8, it's about getting your groove back, trying different things out, what feels good, what's, you know, what may or may not hit the same, things like that. So I feel like either there is a major ending in December or there's a kind of a coming to grips with an ending in December. Because we see here there was a departure energy, okay? And this is a commitment as well. The Hierophant can also symbolizes a marriage. The holding on can be, because this is also known as like the greed card, right? Somebody trying to hold on tightly to things, actual tangible things, juggling, having to make decisions, feeling like you're working really hard but not quite getting anywhere. So this is a very natural energy and a very natural process. It's not entirely linear, but that makes it so much more human. You know, it's a very, very human experience what's happening here. And the context, or the content, I should say, of the story is going to be different for everybody. But this very well could be the disillusion of a long-term partnership of some kind, where then there is a dividing of assets here. And there's sorrow. If there was a 6 of Pentacles, I would even say definitely more so. But there's indecision about departing. Then in November, having to juggle how to do that. Soul searching here. Going back to the drawing board. And then in December, this may be after it's all over, right? Because there is something to be said about when our focus is so much on the practical. Because right up here in the reading we have swords, and then we have pentacles. So many pentacles. Okay, then we have this 8 of Cups. But then by the time it's all said and done, things are divided in December. Then there's like all the big feels come out. You know, feeling happy and joyful and free some days, and then feeling completely bereft and so sad, you know, on another day. And then having all these feelings, i.e. cups, can really be confusing, because not only is this a lot of options, this is a lot of feelings, a lot of emotional fragmentation. And make no mistake, whenever we're going through big transitions in our lives, it is absolutely normal and healthy to feel more than one thing at a time. That's just nature. That's just being human, right? So yeah, pile number 1. I think I'm going to pick a couple cards of advice here. But what I see as a reader, and the soothing salve that I would put on this, is to be present with all of it, and you can take breaks, and it's all right. You know, this is healing. This is painful, but it's healing. And that's what that 9 of Cups is as well. Is that it's kind of an optimistic type energy to where, what are you going to choose? You know, you get to choose. You get to share. Which cup are you going to share? And have a dinner party. You know, do things that you used to do. Having room and time and energy to do new things. Okay? The Hermit. Healing. Introspection. Getting in touch with that inner guiding light. Okay? This is also Virgo energy. Okay? 9 of Pentacles. Independence. And not just independence, I'm single, but this is a successful single. This is feeling very good in your own skin, feeling grounded, really enjoying the fruits of your labor. Whatever investment you had going has definitely paid off, and this is a very, very good, rich, at ease energy. Emotional maturity. There's nothing, you want for nothing really in this energy. This is pre-Empress energy. This is definitely getting back in touch with the self here, and on such a very strong level. Very, very beautiful. The introspection leads to healing, and then it's like you come out on the other side with like juicy grapes and all this bling. It's fabulous. Okay? Bottom of the deck energy, Ace of Wands. Brand new opportunities, brand new inspiration. Okay? Maybe even some libidinal fun times, right? Okay? So I'm going to leave it there for the tarot, pile number 1, and I want to pull you an animal card, an oracle here. A nice little message. Yeah, I think I'll also pull, actually let me pull first from the language of letting go. Oops. That one popped out. Accepting change. This is really profound, and I will say I love it when this happens. Not that, oh gosh, I just love that you're going through this, but when it gets wrapped up, and like the card that comes out at the end really just puts the cherry on top here, you know. And that happens a lot, and I just really love that about I just love it, okay? So accepting change. Today I will be open to the process of change. I will trust my higher power and believe that the place where I'll be dropped off is better than the place where I was picked up. I know that change is necessary to take me wherever I need to go. Beautiful. Beautiful. I really, really, really love that for you, pile number 1. I really love that for you. Okay. Get you an animal card. Okay. Personal choice. Nice. This feels like it goes with the 9 of Cups that we were talking about. Close your eyes. What animal do you imagine? What strengths are they known for? What wisdom do they share? Embrace these qualities. So perhaps you have a favorite animal, that you love to commune with in your mind, or even if it's a pet of yours. We were talking a lot about a domesticated, animal, dog, and just all that loving energy. But it can be any animal of your choice. All right. Okay, pile number 1, that is what I have for you. Thank you so much for joining me, and I will see you next time, okay? Sending you so much love and healing. Mwah. Bye. Hello, pile 2. If you picked the Dreamcoat Amethyst, a little flower pattern on it, this is your reading. Okay. So this is a pre-shuffled deck, all right? And I will invite Spirit in with so much gratitude and respectfully request a message for pile number 2 for their greatest and highest good at this time. Please and thank you, Spirit. This is for the next 3 months. Okay, so I'll be looking into your current energy, and then October, November, and December. Nice. Okay. I don't know why, but the 7 of Pentacles is kind of one of my least favorites. Knight of Cups here, okay? At the bottom of the deck. All right, pile number 2. So pile number 2. This is looking very, I want to say, this is looking very pretty. So currently, right now, pile number 2, you very well could be a water sign, or you have a lot of water in your chart. We have the Knight of Cups at the bottom of the deck, but your current energy where you are sitting is the Queen of Cups. And that is a very powerful, strong, and beautiful energy, okay? Now, the Queen does not just let anyone into her space. She's very open, she's very loving, she's very nurturing, and all the things. But make no mistake, the cup, in all throughout tarot, the cup that the Queen holds is the only cup that has a lid. All right, and what that says is what I give out and what I allow in my emotional world has boundaries, okay? It's not just a free-for-all here. And being that she's the queen, there's a level of emotional maturity here that is able to decipher that, all right? Is able to decipher who and what is allowed in and how much and what she allows out and gives out, okay? And that's your current vibe. Beautiful. In the month of October, we have the High Priestess. So your intuition is popping off in the month of October. And it very well could be popping off already. I mean, if you're a water sign or have strong water in your chart, you probably have quite a very strong intuition and can sense things and feel things quite deeply. So in the month of October, there's the intuition is at play, your inner world and your spiritual story is at play here as well. There could be a continuation of depth for you on a very soul level, on a very psychic level in the month of October, okay? My attention is drawn very strongly to the scroll in her hands, and the scroll is anyone's own individual story. It's not just one set of words for everybody. It's your own story. And how this story is written and what it says comes as you dive into the waters, right? And when you dive into the waters with the High Priestess, this is your self-exploration, your emotional reflection, and what it is you have learned that you can now integrate as doctrine for yourself, your own personal doctrine that has to do with your spirit, your soul, and your heart space, okay? Now in the month of November, there is a very different energy, and I don't know for sure, but I get the sense that somebody may have crossed this Queen of Cups. And so in the month of November, either if this is you, you are coming in hot and you're feeling a bit pissed and you are wanting to you're speaking your truth, okay? With the Knight of Swords here, this archetype is very passionate because knights are of fire, but they can also speak quite harshly. The other thing that's catching my notice here is that the knight is coming right for this queen. So this very well may not be you, but somebody coming in hot to, attack in a way. You could come to find that you have conflict with somebody. You feel as though, someone's kind of coming for you, and not in a scary true crime kind of way, but more like, someone's just coming for you, and wanting to let you have it. That's one possibility, but we'll look into it more, okay? Because this energy here speaks of a serenity. And the only reason I'm thinking maybe this could be you, like something kind of shifted and turned in the month of November, is because we have the Knight of Cups here. Okay, so a Knight of Cups could have been trying to offer you their cup, or you were kind of have this underlying energy for yourself as opening yourself back up. Opening yourself back up to love, to offer this cup, okay? Then we have the King of Pentacles under that. So I'm just wondering if maybe you open yourself up to love and then something kind of shifts and things kind of go rotten in Denmark a little bit. Who knows? We'll see. So in December, we have the Seven of Pentacles. a continued investment, but you know, things are kind of dying on the vine, right? This is like putting in the effort and not getting as much back as you put into it. Also, an invitation to retweak your plan. There's going to be some reflection in the month of December whether or not to continue on this with this investment, whatever it is, okay? So we're totally going to see that. So let's look into that. Put that little dude there. Okay. Okay. The High Priestess. Spirit, can you give me more information for the month of October for the High Priestess energy, please? Seven of Swords, Judgment, and the Queen of Wands. Okay, I get the sense that your intuition is telling you that someone is being a bit sneaky with you and fooling around with the Queen of Wands. That's just what I see it as, straight off the hip. You know, I don't know. So that's one, okay, so that's one way to read these cards. Another way to read these cards is that, you know, either you or someone you're dealing with, could be, what the heck was that? Could be a fire sign. Could be a former lover coming back, okay? Either they're being strategic about coming back in, or you're connecting with someone and they are being shady and strategic about connecting with their former person, okay? Essentially, with the Judgment here in the middle, there's something about this entire process that is very much connected to a spiritual lesson, okay? A spiritual lesson. Something is being invited to die off here so something else can come about. But to be fair, I feel like this Queen of Cups, High Priestess, because the Queen of Cups is you, right? This is you in this story. Very solid emotional maturity, very beautiful energy. And then to deal with this is definitely not your energy. This is somebody else bringing you this energy, okay? This is somebody else. So that seems to be the energy of October. This could very well be you dealing with this, coming, like hearing the call. There's a hearing the call and the intuition are very strong in at play. You could have an intuitive hit that someone is not dealing with you in the most honest way. Okay? And being a water sign, yeah, you pick up on that stuff. You pick up on a lot of things. So this is when that is coming to pass, judgment is the name of the game. Like this is about making a decision around, even if you don't have all the practical tangible information right there in your face, because this is secretive and this is secretive. So there's something about this where you're going to have to trust your gut and make a decision based on your gut and based on your intuition here. Okay? This could be you embodying the energy of making this decision, because make no mistake, the Queen of Wands is, confident and direct and fiery and stands out in a crowd, but she knows how to get pissed, okay? She knows how to get pissed. So this could be you finally getting pissed, because over here we have all this love energy, and that may not be your, this is your common mode, but this might not be your common mode. But when somebody is dealing with you in a shady way and you've invited them into your cup, you took off your lid for this person, look out. Because if you take your lid off for somebody and they deceive you, that's it's game over. And that person will see very quickly how fast this loving, watery, beautiful, loving person can become, very, very direct and fiery and laying it down. All right. I mean, we got two queens, the high priestess dealing with, night energy. So that's got to tell you something as well. Okay. Okay, Spirit, can you tell me more about the Knight of Swords for the month of November, please? The Hierophant, the Nine of Cups, the King of Swords. Interesting. All these cards came out in pile one's reading, really reflecting that of the character of the person. So, whoever you're dealing with in the month of November is definitely bringing a very light-hearted energy to the mix, to this relationship, okay? They're bringing light-hearted, open-hearted energy. They want to share their bounty, but yet there's a guardedness about them. There's kind of maybe even perhaps a rigidity around how relationship is done, okay? Where there's times to be fun and giving and open and exciting, and then there's times to, shut it down and to get logical, get practical. You can guarantee, but that's interesting is because we have the King of Swords and then the Knight of Swords. So it's kind of like by the time they get to you, they go into night mode, right? They may have an idea of what it is that they want to say. Maybe they have a very I don't know, if I want to say practiced speech, but I only say that because the Hierophant is here, that, you know, they've thought about it, this is by the book. They're going to say the things that they know to say, or however it is, it's speaking their truth on some level that's connected to their ethics, connected to their spirituality. You know, could even have been guidance from another person or persons, but they're coming in to communicate something to you. And prior to coming in and actually opening up their mouth, they have a steadiness of how it sounds to them inside, right? Inside of their own mind. And then by the time they get to you, it could be a bit more forceful, a bit more cutting, or a bit more impulsive. This is not impulsive energy at all, which is very interesting to me. So maybe in their sober moments, they would be practical, well measured, clear, decisive, all the very stable things. But then they have a few drinks and then they come in hot. Okay? Because that's also a part of this energy. So keep that in mind for the month of November. This even could be another way to read this energy, because we are talking about November and the Nine of Cups showing up in November. And the Nine of Cups in a completely different deck showed up in December for pile number 1, but this could also signify gatherings. So, you know, this could be a family conflict as well, okay? For those of you that celebrate, you know, Thanksgiving and getting together with people that you normally don't get together with, if you still feel forced to do that, or if you choose to do that, doesn't matter, but interesting. So we have overall open heart space, inner knowing, strength of self, strength of spirit, going in, and then there's some strategy and some passion, and then some sort of booze-fueled argument in November. It's pretty specific. And if it's not a booze-fueled encounter and conversation or whatever, it's something else, but it is definitely a conversation, and there's an aspect of it that is well measured and well thought out, and by the time it gets to the mouth of the person, just kind of comes out as what I said it was, just a bit more impulsive, or a bit more, I don't know, harsh. Spirit, can you tell me about the Seven of Pentacles for the month of December, please? Ace of Cups, Five of Cups, Six of Pentacles. So investing in a new opportunity for love here, but coming to find that what you're investing in is not giving back. And that is making you feel very sad and upset and bereft. Okay? Because this is investment in hopes that one would get more in a new love relationship of some kind, a new emotional experience, and then we have some breadcrumbing going on. Some one person kind of giving their energy to more than one person here. Okay? So there was a lot of optimism in this endeavor. Right? Knight of Cups, Queen of Cups, just a growing and a swelling of the heart space. Knowing oneself very deeply. Being dealt with in a shady way. Having that confrontation. Somebody internally feeling that, maybe trying to come in this, thinking that they're going to come in this way, but end up coming in this way. And I don't know, maybe something was worked out, but by December it's just so fragile. And it's just, I'm sorry, pile number 2. I'm very sorry. If it doesn't resonate, don't take it, okay? But essentially, I see for pile number 2 for you, I see that you are definitely the most mature person in the room when it comes to this spread. 100%. And I think that a part of this spiritual lesson is being able to recognize when you're being dealt with in an inauthentic way. And how to just let that go and not continue it to invest. The bottom line here is don't invest in anything that is not giving back to you. If you're investing into someone and you're just getting breadcrumbs, bye. Because Queen of Cups and the High Priestess, do not even insult them by offering them breadcrumbs. Full stop. Full stop. Okay? So, pile number 2, that's what I have for you for the tarot portion. I feel like if this does play out for you, because energy is fluid, energy shifts, okay? Personal choice is definitely always at the helm. Whatever the case may be, at least it's temporary, okay? And then once it's done, if there's any part of you that's like, oh no, I'm so, I want to try to get this person back, Spirit is telling you that you don't need that. This person is not at your level. They pretend to be. They'd like to think that they are, but they absolutely 100% are not. Okay? Hawk, messenger. Spirit is sending you messages. Open your greater vision to see the signs. Focus on priorities and eliminate distractions. You have a bright future. Let yourself ascend to new heights. Yes. You don't need this freaking clown in your space, okay? Whoever this person is a freaking clown. All right, let me see. Let me get some Soulflower energy for you. zinnia, lightheartedness. Zinnia encourages spontaneity and just plain silliness in order to help bridge the gap between responsible adult and innocent child. Allow yourself to rediscover your joyful, playful inner child. Open your heart and your imagination and allow yourself to dream. The world is your oyster and anything is possible. Yeah, I think that's really nice energy to carry away from this reading. You know, ultimately, it's about you and where you focus your energy and who you allow into your space and who you let into your heart, okay? So pile number 2, that is what I have for you. Thank you so much for joining me, and I will see you on the next one. Bye. Hello, pile 3. If you picked the petrified wood sphere, this is your reading. It's pretty cool. Okay. All right. So this is a pre-shuffle deck. I'd like to invite Spirit in at this time with so much gratitude and respectfully request a message for pile number 3 for the next 3 months for their greatest and highest good. Please and thank you, Spirit. Okay, we'll be looking at your current energy and then October, November, December, and we'll clarify the months. And these cards are pretty big, so I'm going to have to overlap them like this. Okay, let me double check. Sorry, my chair is squeaking. Okay. Bottom of the deck energy, we have the 3 of Swords. So this very well could be a heartbreak story. But let's look into it and see. Okay, pile number 3. Your current energy at this time is sitting in the Wheel of Fortune. And that is actually a very profound energy. It really is. Because what that says is that, I'm sorry for all the squeaking this chair. What that says is that you are rolling with what comes. You have a very sound balance between surrender and forward movement and choosing your path that is in front of you, making mindful choices of how you use your time, okay? Making mindful choices because our choices lead us to more clarity. We make our choices and we get clearer. And that is the energy of the Wheel of Fortune here. It is the Wheel of Time. And what it reminds us is that there are things that happen in life that we don't have any control over. And so it is a part of our, or maybe not our, I don't know if it's a part of your spiritual practice, but it is a large part of spiritual practice to surrender to what is, even if it's difficult, okay? And so in the month of October, you have Temperance, which is actually very beautiful energy to follow up on this. It makes perfect sense that it just leads, that I feel like those energies go hand in hand, because Temperance, you are reforging yourself. This experience, this 3 of Swords experience, very well may be a very profound spiritual lesson for you. Okay, pile number 3. It's been something that you've had to surrender to, something you didn't have any control over, but you are holding it and handling it with so much grace. So much grace. And like I was saying earlier about how you're forging your own path moving forward in the midst of this heartache, you are doing so in a very well measured way. Okay? You're bringing a lot of patience to yourself, to others, taking things a bit slower, all the while going through a process that can feel very painful, yet very transformative. Some days you could feel like transformation is there and you can see it. Other times it's just like, oh, you've had it, and you just need to go to bed. Like, it's not going to be the same every day, but you know that being in the Wheel of Fortune energy and surrendering to the process, okay? Surrendering to the process. So in the month of November, I see there's the Two of Pentacles. That very well could speak to what I just spoke about, right? Like having some days are like this, some days are like that, this whole process as it is, because this is very big energy, okay? So when we have a smaller practical minor arcana come in, it's just, how are we holding this energy, and to be juggling it and to be working with it is all that can be expected, okay? There's definitely no kind of energy here that says, grip it and rip it. It's very much a patient. It's like you're giving yourself grace. And I like how with the Temperance we always see the pouring back and forth into the cups, right? And then we have Two of Pentacles. So you're doing this on a practical level and you're doing this on an emotional level, okay? Emotionally patient, emotionally well measured, practically, weighing things, but not taking too much on either. Two of Pentacles is a very early energy in the Pentacle path, okay? And I feel like for the month of December, with the Three of Wands, this could be you, or not even could be you. It is you in the process of standing at the gateway. You're on the precipice of either stepping through and seizing your next opportunity, making things happen in your life, planning, moving forward, taking action, even smaller, actions, but stepping through the gateway nonetheless, whether it's you that leads the charge or whether you have the patience to, know an opportunity when it comes your way, okay? You can do both. There's no wrong answer. You can do both. You can do either or. It's just fine. All right? So let's go ahead and look into the months here. Okay. If the shuffling becomes too long, because I have a tendency to just shuffle and shuffle until it feels right, just grab the little bottom slidey bar. And if you're watching this on your phone, you can go like this, boop, and kind of slide the bottom up, and then you get all these frames, and then you can move the frames this way until you see me laying down the cards. A very, very cool way to move forward or backward in these kinds of, in any kind of video. Okay. Spirit, can you tell me more about the temperance energy in the month of October? Ace of Cups wanted to pop out. Seven of Wands, Knight of Pentacles, the High Priestess. So your intuition is telling you, because we have patient energy with the Temperance and the Knight of Pentacles. So your intuition and your spiritual, like you're on a soul level, you're taking things slower. And you very well could even be a little bit more guarded with that Seven of Wands. You're standing your ground nonetheless, okay? So whatever boundaries that you're setting are definitely sound boundaries for you, and you are just taking your time with it. Another way to read this energy is that in the month of October, you have been patient with somebody who has actually been taking a whole heck of a lot of time to maybe step up. You could be dealing with somebody who's quite guarded, and your intuition is telling you that this energy is just kind of not moving forward, and that can be a real disappointment. That's another way of reading the energy, okay? And I'm saying that because the Ace of Cups had popped out earlier. I'm getting a relationship vibe from this as well, just because of the Three of Swords, but it doesn't have to be. I just wanted to read the cards as I saw them here. Okay, so either way, October and currently is a carrying through of patient energy, surrendering to what is, making sound choices, and just being patient with yourself in the whole process, and trusting your intuition and setting good boundaries. Like, those are the bullet points of what I've read so far. Okay, Spirit, can you tell me more about the month of November with the Two of Pentacles energy, please? The Fool, the Lovers, the Nine of Pentacles. Yeah. So this is, starting a whole brand new thing. Starting a whole brand new path, a brand new cycle. And you are doing very well for yourself. Okay? And you acknowledge this. You do very well on your own. But there we do have the Lover's energy in the middle. So with the heartache here, this can be read as, when it comes to the Lover's connection, you're on a brand new path of being single. Okay? Of being independent. And balancing that out in the month of November, balancing out that experience. It's an adjustment. You're adjusting to that. Okay? You can also read this energy as, you know, do I or don't I? Do I or don't I? You know, I just, maybe this is an older energy, right? Maybe this is something that just lives very deep. This could be unprocessed grief, okay? And the Wheel of Fortune could be a reminder of like cycles. Do I get into another cycle by opening myself up to a lover's connection? Do I or don't I? I'm doing well being single on my own. Do I open myself up to this possibility because I know what has happened in the past? Is this wheel going to turn, and is this pattern or this, am I going to see the same thing happening again? That's another way of reading this energy for the month of November. You know, perhaps October you tried and it just wasn't really coming together. So maybe November you're kind of like, do I keep trying? I'm not, probably, I don't know, maybe with this person or not, it's not clear, but you know, there's some, you're weighing the options here. But it is definitely your choice, because it's, you know, to pursue a relationship or not. You deal with another energy, but it doesn't necessarily mean that you can't have your heart open to it. So this is a process of like, do I open myself up to that or not? Okay. If this is already a fresh current heartbreak, then this is more about adjusting to the ending of that. Spirit, can you tell me more about the Three of Wands in the month of December? Four of Cups, Seven of Swords, the Devil. Yeah. There's a waiting, there's a disappointment, there's a sneakiness or like a deception afoot. Yeah, Seven of Swords next to the Devil is like some sort of funky deception. It's something funky, and you know it's funky because you have very strong intuition, pile number 3, and your reflection of how funky this is how you feel. You know something's rotten in Denmark, okay? You know that what you're being offered is something that you don't want to accept because it's just bullshit. With some sort of Seven of Swords Devil combo, okay? It's deceptive. It's not for your highest good whatsoever. It wouldn't be for anyone's highest good. Deception and keeping one stuck in some holding pattern or in some cage feeding peanuts is not good for anyone. And with the feeding of peanuts, this is like intermittent reward really does, and it's bookending this with the Three of Wands. So this could be, you know, waiting for some sort of something, right? Kind of getting into this pattern of being like breadcrumbed or something, you know? And that doesn't feel good because you know it's deceptive, and you know that it's just doesn't feel good. It's heartbreaking. You know, pile number 3, I get the sense that you have been healing from past heartbreak. And just, you know, in general, I think everybody's healing it all. You know, most of us are healing all the time. We're in some sort of healing journey or another, and you've been very patient with yourself, right? You've been very patient with yourself, and you have dealt with some very slow moving energies, you know, or continuing to deal with slow moving energies in October, questioning it in November, and then really just coming to see it for what it is in December. Okay? So, pile number 3, I'm going to leave the tarot portion there. Let me get a couple cards of advice. These readings this evening were a bit heavy, all 3 piles. Pile 2 and pile 3 were quite similar. And pile 1 and pile 2 had a lot of cross cards. Some of them showing up in different in like similar placements in the spread. So, interesting. Okay. Three of Cups. Go have fun with your friends. Give back to those who you already know and trust have your back. You need to spend time with people who are not going to, you know, leave you hanging. Like these are your people, okay? Keep it light. Have a couple of drinks, whatever those bevies are for you and your friends. But that is definitely a very light, uplifting energy, okay? Queen of Swords, get very clear on your boundaries and cut out any bullshit that does not belong and does not serve you. That's the thing. The Queen of Swords is very clear on that, okay? Very clear. And with so much patient energy here, pile number 3, like I just get the sense that like you've waited enough, and I feel like you've gotten to the point where you're like, yeah, no. Okay. 3 of Pentacles, building yourself back up, building up, and it doesn't even need to just be yourself or even a relationship. It could be like work on some cool new project, like shift your focus, you know, shift your focus. Invest yourself into things that you know are going to be investing just as much energy into you, whether that be friendships or projects or anything, right? Okay, and I think this is very beautiful sound advice. It's very kind of getting back in touch with the self, kind of taking it back to baseline there, taking it back to the tried and true. Okay, so let me pull a Soulflower card for you. Self-heal, responsibility. True healing is a journey that engages the whole of your being in a spiraling process of deeper and deeper levels of understanding and self-awareness. Self-heal addresses the special connection between your soul and your body and encourages you to take responsibility for your own personal journey. Very good. Very good. I feel that really just pairs so well with the message and with this Queen of Swords here. Very nice. Okay. I'm sorry if I sound and feel a little bit slower this evening. It's not really late, but it's nighttime and I'm tired. So I wanted to share that with you because I feel like I sound like I'm super low energy. But this is the very end, so. All right. Heron, patience. You're like, I've had enough patience. Okay. Create a place in nature's stillness and be renewed. Take time alone to find balance. Step confidently toward your purpose. Patience will bring you rewards. And I think that speaks to this Three of Pentacles here and just getting back in touch with yourself, like we were saying. Okay. Pile number 3, thank you so much for joining me. I really appreciate it. Remember to like, share, and subscribe, and I will see you next time. Sending so much love. Bye.